devastating fire causing a big setback for straw vendors in the Bazaar. The Treasure Key Resort holding its own. And top students in the West rewarded for academic excellence.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all, I'm Megan Shepard. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news, they are the only business owners left at the International Bazaar. But this morning, a blaze destroyed their stalls, and now the straw vendors in the once thriving International Bazaar are displaced. As Sabrina Brown reports tonight, the cause of that fire is under investigation.
The early morning fire reportedly erupted around 4 o'clock Tuesday morning and destroyed one of 3 buildings in the straw market in the International Bazaar, leaving 11 vendors displaced. Tanya Curry is the daughter of one of the owners, Carol Curry. She recalls getting that dreadful call during the wee hours of the morning.
Called my siblings because they were closer. They live in Bahama and stuff, and they came out to investigate. But when they came, because I was telling them to go try and save her things, but when they reached, everything was gone. You can't even put the value of how much she lost. It's a lot. And just yesterday, we actually stocked on Bahamian jewelry, and we just stocked on some Bahama bags.
Carol Curry says she's been selling her Bahamian craft from the International Bazaar for over 40 years, and she's devastated by the fire.
All my life I depend on the straw market. Most of the ladies left, but I stayed because you had no other way or means. So, but I'm grateful to Almighty God, and I say thanks. But right now, I'm appealing that if the government could come in and help us in each and every whatever way that he could, I appreciate it highly.
Vendor Elizabeth Fowler also suffered a great loss.
I had the 2 of those shops next door full of stuff. I'm really saddened because that's all I live by, to pay my rent. We just stuck the shop out yesterday. Like I told Miss Corey, I had a dream, and I believe this was the dream.
Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Works, Iram Lewis, and a team from the Ministry of Works were on hand to ensure safety of the surrounding areas.
We are here on site to see how we can help to secure the premises to ensure that no one receive any kind of injuries, and to ensure that no one goes into the building and interfere with the investigation by the relevant authorities. There's still a little smoldering fire. There may be further collapsing of what is remaining right now. So we want to advise the public to stay away from the structure in the meantime until the necessary investigations are completed.
Lewis also responded to the vendors' appeal for the government's assistance in restoring their livelihood.
We have to move swiftly to ensure that no further loss, economic loss, is experienced by these individuals. So whatever makeshift arrangement we can assist them with, we will do our best.
I'm so thankful to Mr. Lewis, Mr. Arm Lewis. He was here on time.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable K. Peter Turnquest, issuing a statement regarding this morning's fire. Turnquest says he sympathizes with those who are forced to endure the tragic setback related to the fire at the International Bazaar. He says the government is committed to assist in finding an alternative site and will do all within its power to help the owners and tenants. The DPM also noting that the International Bazaar presents a complex resolve, but says the government has the will to ensure the restoration of this historic landmark. Meantime, the Grand Bahama Taxi Union is again calling on the powers that be to step in and enforce the rules and regulations of the transportation industry. The union leader says that the time for talking has passed and they are now preparing to take legal action. President of the Grand Bahama Taxi Union, David Jones, says that the government is well aware of a list of issues facing the transport industry on the island. Among those issues, the dominance of tour operators at the harbor. Jones claims that rules and regulations are not being adhered to, resulting in chaos.
We have a tour operator carries about 80 to 85% of that ship. For example, the boat came in the other day with 1,600 persons. Taxi drivers move about 200 of those persons. And again, I want the public to understand, I want everybody to understand, if any tour operator goes out there and advocate and advertise for their business, they can bring how many people they wish to this island. The taxi drivers, we know we do not have any rights to those people. But that is not what is happening on the celebration. They have a desk selling transportation right there all day. That is against the law. That is not a prearranged tour that we call it. And they continue to do this.
Jones says that taxi drivers must adhere to a number of rules and guidelines. He is calling for an even playing field for all in the transport industry. He claims that the unfair distribution of passengers is killing the taxi business. He says that if something is not done soon, they would have to take legal action.
We have already contacted council, and we will ask the courts to determine what prearrange is. You understand? But it's absolutely out of hand. They have no regulations when it comes to the tour operator, none whatsoever. The taxi driver, we only supposed to carry 12. We have to get inspected 2 times a year. Our vehicle has to be in a certain condition. We have big insurance we have to pay. And on top of that, the tour operators just do as they please. Again, we are asking the government to do something about it. It is really out of hand.
Now, Jones says that an agreement between tour operators and the taxi drivers existed some 10 years ago, but that agreement has expired and a new one must be negotiated.
From 2003 to 2007, when we allowed the tour operators to come to the harbor to do certain type of business, very good agreement. But again, once they have gotten in and I guess they're seeing the benefits of it, now we cannot get them back to the table. But we are making steps to bring them to the table. I am saying we have already contacted council. If not, we will ask the courts to determine where do we go from here.
Now we contacted the Road Traffic Department. Officials there say road traffic officers assist with the smooth flow of business at the harbor. They say tour operations are only allowed into the harbor to pick up pre-arranged passengers. Now to news from Abaco. The Treasure Key Resort is one of the key resort properties on that island. With 4 miles of private beach, a marina, and 18-hole golf course, the Treasure Key Resort is holding its own. Kimberly Mullings has an update.
Treasure Key is Treasure Key, the best place in the Outer Islands to come and visit.
Treasure Key Hotel manager Avis Miller has a number of reasons why the hotel is a perfect getaway spot for any reason on the island of Abaco.
We have the most friendly staff, and the accommodations might not be the Ritz-Carlton, but they're very pleasant. We have beautiful beaches, we have a golf course, we have restaurants, we have bars on site, we have a grocery store, shopping plaza here. We have golf cart rentals. The kids can come from Nassau or Freeport or anywhere else in the world and feel safe here.
Treasure Key Hotel encourages domestic tourism just as much as they encourage international tourism. The hotel manager says they have partnered with the Out Island Promotion Board.
We do the domestic fly free, where if you fly from Bahamas or any other island, you can get a plane ticket or 2 plane tickets off your room cost. So if you're coming from Freeport, like you did, I took your ticket, right? And I'm giving you an airfare from each room because you have 3 rooms and you're staying 2 nights. So you're going to pay me maybe less than $100 for your stay for 2 nights. And if you stay 4 nights with us, you get 2 tickets off your room. So it's an incentive to travel to the outer islands, and they're making it very easy for Bahamians.
With occupancy being full or near full for the past 2 months, Miller says she is certain that they will remain busy until the end of April before starting back up during the summer months, noting that the experience at Treasure Key Hotel is certainly one of a kind.
It's an island filled with a city life. Let's put it that way. It's not really down home island, but you can find everything and anything here. We have golf courts, we have tennis courts, we have swimming pools, we have restaurants that even if you don't want to stay on site to eat, we have private restaurants in the area. High end and low end. So it's here.
Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Kimberly. The Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Finance, and Member of Parliament for East Grants, Bahama, the Honorable K. Peter Turnquest, dismissing claims circulating on social media that states that he will benefit hugely from the OBAN $5.5 billion proposed oil refinery and storage project in East Grants, Bahama. Minister Turnquest calling it a vicious untruth spewed by those who wish to create political mischief. He says it shows the desperation of operatives who know no boundaries of decency and have no basis on which to attack the government, which has been working to right many of the insulting wrongs left behind by the prior administration. Turnquest notes that as a member of the Bahamas Institute of Chartered Accountants, he holds a license from the Grand Bahama Port Authority as a sole practitioner. However, he says, it is and has been inactive since he was appointed Minister of Finance on May 12, 2017. The Deputy Prime Minister concludes by saying, the level of fake news today is sickening and confuses too many citizens who do not understand the extent to which these unnamed, cowardly charlatans will go to mislead them. Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition continues in just a moment.